it. Okay, I have to say this because it's happening right now. Live in the studio. I was going to put some flowers up here, but then where would I put my jar of Diet Coke? Priorities. Red flag. Okay. If someone is best friends with their parents, I think it's a red flag. I think it's a huge fucking red flag. Because, like, what do you mean you tell your parents everything? Like, you tell them we fuck? No. Done. Gone. Sorry. What? No. So, like that, or like, if you feel comfortable being like super naked around your parents as an adult, like, what? And I feel like somebody's going to be like, you just have a bad relationship with your parents. Like, I'm not denying that, but also that just seems so weird. We're not using the microphone cover right now because it's kind of gross, but this week's recommendation is I've always loved Diet Coke with a little lime wedge, right? Lime wedge and ground ginger, right? Delicious. So good. I put so much ice in here. And then we're on a budget. So it's a can of Diet Coke, right? And 2 lime wedges, squeezed, juiced, thrown in, and a little, and like an eighth of a teaspoon of ginger. Delicious. Does it make my nose a little runny? Yes, but that's because it's good for you. Okay. We've got vitamin C. We've got ginger. Welcome to the Long Distance Friends podcast. My name is Liv. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Go follow us on Instagram at LongDFriendsPod. Send us an email at longdfriendspod@gmail.com if you have any like feedback, suggestions, anything you want me to know. Okay. That was a weird like snort sound that I just made. Ugh. I will put this out here of like, I do all the things for this show, and it's so alarming to edit your own voice and to have to hear the like weird noises that you make and like the weird mouth sounds that come out. Like, it's a little alarming. We're in the studio, in the home studio. Just cannot seem to figure out camera angles these past couple weeks now that we have our little love seat. This is from TikTok Shop. As I said last week, it's honestly doing me pretty well. I'm not mad about it. I have sat on it a couple times while not recording, and like it's cozy enough, Recap of last week. So recorded before I had the girly pops over. Everybody came over. It was so fun. It was so lovely. And I'm kind of glad that my house does work this way and has this energy of like people are coming and going and like feel comfortable here. Cause like, I didn't have every single person over at once. I had one of my girlfriends was over the whole time. We had one come over earlier in the day. We hung out for a couple hours. We made our vision boards, and then she left. Another girlfriend ended up coming over, was over for a couple hours, hung out, watched the Eras tour, girl talk, snacked. She left. And then the next morning, another girlfriend came over and we did a little brunch and just girly timed. And like, I so appreciate that, of like just kind of having this energy in the home of like, people are welcome, people come and go, and like, being able to like host in that way of like, I don't want to say like so much to give, but like having the ability to give, my own energy to people, I think is huge. And it's something that like I really love so passionately. And I cherish the time that I have with my girlfriends so incredibly much. And I feel like, we talk about how important friendship is, but it's not always talked about as like much as I think romantic relationships are. And like, don't get me wrong, I want romantic love. I love romantic love. Oh God, I watched a TikTok say that like I was screaming. I was fucking screaming. This girl captured on her Ring camera, like coming home from like a first date and the guy kissing her. And it was like their first kiss. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe I caught this on camera. But like, and I was like, oh, you know? Especially because like I looked at it and I was like, no one's kissed me like that. Never. Let's talk about first kisses for a minute. I do have a list. Let's talk about first kisses. No, we got to get someone on here. Hi, how are you, friends? Welcome to the home studio. Dana's longtime LDF, MDF, like long distance slash mid distance.
Yeah, I would say
We
so.
we used to be roommates though. We used to live together. We met in college. Dana and I were in the same sorority. I feel like that's most of the background. So I think I sent you this TikTok. Did you
Okay.
see the TikTok that I sent you today that I was like, I am so touch starved. I'm gnawing at the bars of my enclosure.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay,
I-
so I feel like I'm gonna cry thinking about it. This girl posted a TikTok and it's like a ring camera angle of her like front porch. And you can tell that like this guy just walking her up to the front door, like they just went on a date. And
Oh
like
no.
you kind of see the top of her head where she's like this. So it's like she's probably like,
Uh-huh.
okay, well, like I should probably go inside now.
Yeah.
And he is like, yeah. And then like does the like guy walk up and like grabs her face and kisses her. And I was like, I'm not
Must
well.
be nice.
I was like, do I duet this and be like, oh my God, like I love this for you. I'm gonna kill myself.
Right. Yeah. Thanks
Oh,
for posting that.
yeah, that's amazing. I guess I'll just shoot myself in the foot. It's fine. And it made me think about first kisses.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't recall having a first kiss that's ever been like amazing.
My like first kiss was horrible and just like very uncomfortable.
What happened?
So I was in a club in high school and it was basically like mock Congress, and we'd go on trips throughout like the East Coast. And there were a lot of cute boys. That's why I was in the club. So we'd go on these trips, and freshman year, there was a guy that like my whole friend group kind of had a little crush on, but more specifically, my best friend at the time. And they had dances at these little get-togethers at night. And that was like where you would go to like make out.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah. So you go to make out, whatever. I'm a freshman. I'm like 15, I think. My friends and I are all dancing, and we're like in a group of four. And I look at my friend and I was like, he's coming over here. Like, I think he's gonna come like talk to you. He came over and kissed me. And I was, I'm like, well, if this is my opportunity, I'm not gonna
You have
pass
to
it up.
take
I'm
it.
sorry. But we kissed. And then when we broke apart from the kiss, his gum was in my mouth.
I think guys do that on purpose. Like I feel like high school guys will do that on purpose to be like, I got the
Yes.
gum in her mouth. And like,
Yes. Well, I'll also say he was like 16, I want to say.
yeah.
He had a published erotica that he wrote,
At
like for
16?
sale at this time. Yes.
Are we talking like Wattpad or are we talking about like
I have a copy. My best friend bought it for me. Um, yeah. My best friend from home like mailed it to me at college one year. It was like, I hope you like your birthday gift. I was like,
oh my God.
yeah. So I have it. We can read it together one day.
Um, we must. Is it good?
I mean, it was definitely written by like a high school student that's like never um
Had
had any
sex.
sort of like, yeah,
Yeah.
never had sex, any romantic experience,
Yeah.
but
He's like, I put
like
my dick in her belly button.
yeah, stuff like that. It was like having sex at like school. And I just remember like, this is crazy. He's so hot.
Dana, I'm from Florida. People had sex at school a lot.
Not in New York. That was not going on in the suburbs.
It was definitely going on. I mean, there was when I was in high school, I graduated and there was a video that was like a compilation of like videos of some of the faculty and staff that had gotten arrested for like child sex abuse,
God.
basically, with
No.
like their mugshots. And then it would like cut to, I will never forget it. There was these two kids, and there was one
Uh-huh.
video of a girl on her hands and knees in the bathroom, and like somebody else like and her being like, and then there
Oh
was
my God.
two people and they were like standing, it was like the school faced the highway, but behind it was like a neighborhood. So there was like bushes behind
Okay.
the back buildings of the school.
Okay.
And they're in like a white collared shirt and khakis, backpacks on,
The
banging over
backpack's
us.
on.
You couldn't take it off. Like her
Yeah.
backpack wasn't on, but his was, and she was like bent over. Yeah, it was
We had my like junior year, two kids were caught having sex in the auditorium. I remember that was crazy. And my senior year, a girl that was in my grade we found out that she was having a relationship with the health teacher who was married and had a pregnant wife.
so the high school that I went to is
Uh-huh.
in the Jeffrey Epstein Netflix docuseries and was one of the high schools that Jeff Epstein recruited young ladies from.
Okay.
And so after I learned that, I was like, so it's like really no surprise that like
Right.
every single year of high school, a faculty or staff member got arrested for inappropriate relationships with students, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will never forget my sophomore year. It was the history teacher. He was an alumni of the high school. And my junior English teacher was like, he was in the same grade as my daughter. He was in my junior English lit class. And he was
Uh-huh.
weird. He was one of those kids that you just knew he was fucking wrong. There was something just wrong with him. And when they welcomed him on and said, new teacher, a former, alumnus. How exciting. I just knew it was going to be bad. And it was like his third year teaching, right? He taught
Yeah.
sophomore world history, and one of the girls in his class he was sleeping with. And they only got found out because her ex-boyfriend called the cops and was like, "Hey, my girlfriend is cheating on me with this, you
With the
know,
teacher.
29-year-old man." And the reason why it got found out, like, he didn't find out that she was cheating. She started talking about it. She was like, "Yeah, I slept over at so and so's house last night and he picked me up and I had to crawl out of her window. And then he took me back to his apartment that he shares with his sister and he fucked me in the ass." And that's how they got caught. Is she was bragging about like him putting it in her butt. And we were like, "Oh, oh,
I
oh."
just I like couldn't.
He got arrested at the school. Like, could
Oh, I bet
you?
that was fun though.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good.
Uh-huh.
And they tried to like keep it secret, but people were like, "Did you hear about that
Oh, of
fucking
course.
perv
Of
getting
course.
arrested?" And we were like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Then there was the one year that one of the guys he had a schizophrenic break, and he was ironically enough the psychology teacher, and he was like,
Funny how that works.
well, and he was having one of those like I'm the reincarnate of Jesus. And it was like he just started getting really weird towards some of the girls and like his wife left him and they were
Um,
like, "Hey, you got to quit because we're worried that
yeah.
you're going to do something that you're going to get arrested for, especially after that fucker yet last year." And then the athletic director got caught with nudie videos of his stepdaughter, who was the daughter of because they put a spy cam in her room. Because allegedly they thought she was sneaking out, but she was actually sneaking people in. And then they like found that he had kept the videos on his phone of like her.
Like
Yeah.
people that she would sneak in the house.
Yes. She'd sneak guys in and then they'd fuck and he had the videos. And she ended up leaving the high school and going to a different high school. And I think
Yeah.
she's now like
Uh,
on Broadway or something, which, good for her. I hope
Good
she
for her.
heals. I hope all of these
Yeah.
poor kids heal, truly, truly, honestly. But like,
Oh, well, I remember like at the time when it happened with the girl at my school, I was kind of pissed. I'm like, she's gonna just like go to college. Like, no one's facing repercussions. Like, the teacher got fired, but he didn't lose his license, nothing. Because his mother was a teacher at the high school, and his father like was a cop, like a local cop. So he teaches, just not in our district anymore. But I remembered like being pissed about it, like she's just gonna go to college, like she should get in trouble. And now I'm like, I was such a bitch. Like this poor girl being like assaulted by her teacher.
yeah,
But she's
that's
fine now.
always,
I think she's like a teacher.
oh,
Well, we'll see how that works.
that's always my thing. Is like, I think I've talked about it on here like really briefly, but like when I was in high school, I was pursued inappropriately by adults. And like
Uh-huh.
at the time, so like I literally remember this guy getting arrested and being like, "That bitch is so stupid. Cardinal rule, you don't talk about it." Like,
Because I feel
like,
like when you're younger, like you think it's cool and like you think you're mature,
oh,
and then you're,
I used to tell my friends. Every single one of my
yeah,
friends knew that this 30-year-old man was like controlling my life, like had a
uh-huh.
baby cam in my bedroom, like all the shit.
Yeah,
And I was like, someone loves me. And
right.
I was like, that bitch is stupid. I was smart enough to know, like, oh, this is like this person could get in trouble and they are like, if I get in trouble because of you, I will kill myself and I will kill you. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Bet. Okay. Yeah.
Of course. But
I
yeah,
just feel like when you're in it, it's so hard to like tell the difference. And
well, especially because I was like, no one my age wants me. Like, literally, I was like, no one is interested in me. Like, I remember having the biggest crush on this guy, and like, he literally was like, I was like, oh, because I'm a fat, ugly piece of shit. I'll go kill
right,
myself.
right.
I
But
was
then you're like, well,
14.
this older guy.
Right. Well, also, that was the only guy that actually was like, I like you. And I was like, oh
Right.
my, because nobody my age was like, I think you're really pretty. I think you're really smart. Like, I'm fascinated by you. They were just like, ah. And I was like,
Right. They don't know what to do.
no. And I
Yeah.
also, so problematic. I remember having a girlfriend who, when we were in middle school, her mom was like, when you have sex, make sure the other person has had sex before so that it's not like a bad experience and that it's like
Right.
whatever. And so I was like, okay,
Right. Good to know.
I'll go.
Don't know how that translates though.
Like, oh, so when I'm a freshman, I shouldn't also date a freshman. Like, that's fair, that's fair, that's fair. But also, no one else wants me. And then my dad became a volunteer at the high school, so I was like,
They're
now
all
no
out of
one,
school.
definitely no one wants me.
Right.
And I started working when I was like 14. And so it
Uh-huh.
was like people at work hit on me. Oh, I mean, in retrospect, it was sexual harassment, but at the time I was like, I didn't
Right.
know what that word was. I was
Right.
just like, yeah, people are always asking me to like bend over and pick up large things of water so that my butt's out. Like, all
Right.
right. They give me $20 and then I'm like, I'll take it. So I didn't know better. And like I will say though, like in high school
Exactly.
or in middle school, people were interested in me that were age appropriate.
Uh-huh.
So my first kiss, I was 13, maybe 14,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and I laughed at him in his face right after it happened, like an asshole, because it
I feel
was,
like that's normal.
I mean, yeah, because so we were young, it was dark. I was sleeping over at a
Yeah.
friend's house, and like he had a friend with him, I had a friend with me, and we were like walking in the street.
Classic.
And then we were
Uh-huh.
like, oh, like kind of head back. And we were like hugging for like a hot minute. And my friend was like, I'm gonna start walking away. And his friend was like, I'm gonna start walking away. And we were like, okay,
Perfect.
bye. All right, love you so much. And he
Uh-huh.
like, I think that was the last time that I had like a first kiss that actually gave me like where I was like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? And
Uh-huh.
he
Uh-huh.
like pulled away a little bit and like looked at me and then and he hit me right on the upper lip, like just barely under my nose. And I was like,
Oh, mhm.
because he was
How
taller than me.
spicy. Yeah.
And so I was like, sorry, do you want to try that again? And he was like,
No.
sure.
At least he said sure. Could you imagine if he's like, no, that one was good enough for me?
Well, so we ended up staying friends and like, we
Right.
ended up going to high school together and our lives were always intertwined. And like
Yeah.
senior year of high school, he was like, do you know how badly that fucked me up that you laughed? And I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
I'm so sorry. He was like, it haunted me because that was my first kiss too. And I was like,
Oh. Well,
well,
you win some, you lose some.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
oops, it's fine. I did almost have sex with him sophomore year. And me being me, I was like, I am not wearing the right underwear for this.
Oh, obviously what I would be thinking. No, I'd be thinking about that too.
My underwear wouldn't be on. He wouldn't care.
I didn't realize that honestly though until like very recently, where I'm like, oh no, no, like it has to all be right. And I'm like, they're not even paying
No,
any attention.
no.
Like it's just in my head.
Well, that, and I also think about this frequently where, like, I saw this girl talk about, like, my Roman Empire is the size of my body. Not a day has gone by that I have not looked
I
at my
saw
body in
that.
the mirror and been like, this could be smaller, this could be bigger, blah, 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 blah. And
Uh-huh.
like, I remember one of my therapists in college, I was like, I
Uh-huh.
gotta be skinnier and then he'll want to date me.
Uh-huh.
And spoiler alert, he never wanted to date me to this day. He's like,
Right.
I never wanted to date you. I just like wanted you. And I was like, that's
Right.
okay. Yeah, no, that's not how
That's
that
not
works.
any better. Thanks.
But she was like, every single guy that you've had sex with, when you take your clothes off, have any of them said, no thanks? Or like, actually, can you put that back on?
Right.
And I was like, no. She was like, right, because nobody cares.
Right. But
Like,
I care.
right. Like if
Yeah.
somebody wanted to sleep with you while your clothes were on, they're still gonna want to have sex with you when your clothes are off. And I was like, that,
Right.
it's a good
Got a
point.
point.
You're making sense.
Right.
I'm not gonna take your advice, but I am gonna remember
Exactly.
that.
Right. It's like that makes sense for other people, not for me. Thanks, though.
Right. Like, I don't know if you've
Thanks
seen me,
so
but
much.
actually I was like, actually, I'm an ogre. So I take my clothes off and I
Right.
turn green and then porns sprout up and they're like,
Uh-huh.
ah.
Right. Yeah. Busted open can of biscuits.
Yeah. So do you consider first kisses to be just like the one first time you kiss someone or like every relationship's first kiss?
That's a good question. I honestly, maybe this is like stupid, but I feel like I don't remember like all of them like that. Like I remember my first one. That's
Hmm.
probably it. I don't know if that means that I've had a lot of kisses or what, but yeah, I don't remember them all.
I was thinking about it
Yeah.
where I was like, the last first kiss that I had
Uh-huh.
was not good.
Uh-huh.
Like the last several, like the one before
Okay.
that, the person was like, would you be upset if I kissed you? And I was like,
Now I would be.
right, like now you have
Yeah.
to. And like it was
Yeah.
sweet, but I was like, it was nice.
Uh-huh.
But like it wasn't like, oh, you know.
Right. It wasn't like what you would expect.
Right. Like in
Yeah.
retrospect, I was like all for it because I was like, dopamine. The guy before that, awful. Okay, so the most recent one, I think I told you about it because I was like, it was rough. Where
Uh-huh.
like he drove the teeniest, tiniest little car, and
I yes.
we went to the zoo and then we went to a bar.
Okay.
It was hot outside, so I was sweaty,
Uh-huh.
right?
In the little teeny car.
In the little teeny car. I'd had two tequilas,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, is he just like not gonna kiss me? Like we've been hanging out for like 8 hours, and like
Yeah.
I'm giving all of the signals of like
Right. Just like a little smooch.
I was like, okay, well I guess I'm gonna leave, and he was like, not even. I was like, walk me to the
Mm.
door, like walk me to the door so that you can
Yeah,
actually fucking kiss me. But
you're a
I
grown
looked at him in his
man.
little teeny tiny car, and he kissed me there, and it was so much movement, and I was like,
Ugh.
oh, I don't like to be kissed like that actually.
Yeah,
Can
no thank
you
you. Goodbye.
I was like, hey, can you actually like slow down a little bit?
Uh-huh.
Like you want to savor kissing me. And he was like, got it. And then it was so much better. But I was like,
Right.
I remember being like, oh, what the
Ugh.
fuck?
Oh my God.
And like he took feedback great.
Right. Which is like, okay, fine. If you can adjust, that works. But like that was your initial move. That's how you just go in.
Oh,
Ugh.
it's so hard.
Yeah.
I feel like in college, it was
Uh-huh.
brutal.
Yeah, that was a crazy time for
I feel like
kissing.
most of the
Kissing.
people that I was tangoing with, I wasn't
Uh-huh.
kissing.
What do you mean? Like,
Like
what?
I was having sex with people and they weren't kissing me. Like my
Oh,
long-term ex, my long
uh-huh.
again,
I
I
remember
dated
that he
him
did
for
not
three
like
years. He
kissing.
dated me for 6 months. He would kiss me on the cheek or the forehead.
I remember that.
And like I became okay with it.
Right, so stick to what you're good at. Yeah. Ooh.
Anywho, part of me thought that it was just because
Uh-huh.
he hated making out with me. And I was like, am I a bad kisser?
Right. Of course you'll think
Like
it's you.
when you kiss a bad kisser, you're like, is it me?
Uh-huh.
And I remember I still think about this guy sometimes. This guy in college that like we hooked up my freshman year
Okay.
and it was like wild and crazy and fun.
Uh-huh.
And then we hooked up my senior year, like my long-term ex and I took a break and I was like, all right, well, this guy's been hitting me up for 3 years. Like, all right,
Why not? Yeah, hello.
what's going
Now's your
on?
chance.
Hey. And he was like, hey, like, come to, like, I want to take you to a bar with my friends, like, come over to my place and, like, we're all gonna drive over together, whatever. And I was
Right.
like, yeah, I'm here, whatever. And he, like, came outside, saw
Uh-huh.
me, picked me up, like, hugged, started to put me down, one hand, like, on my face, kissed me, and was like, so glad you're here. And I was like,
I I feel like that would scare me.
well, I'd had sex with him before. Like, I knew the guy.
I guess.
We were in the
I
same
don't know.
circles, and, like,
Yeah.
he he came to a lot of date parties, never with me, but with a lot of other
Oh,
girls.
that's always the case. It's like I see you around with the other girls. That's fine.
Honestly, I wish that I had like group chats with the girly pops that we were like, did we all fuck at
Oh,
the same
of
time?
course. You know how big some of those group chats would be? Unfortunately.
Listen, I still follow most of the girls that I'm like, oh, I
Oh
really
yeah.
liked this guy and you fucked him after me. Like,
Yeah. And then you get in the group chat and you're like, oh wow, it's so crazy how many of my friends are in here.
I remember the first time I saw him at one of our parties, I was like, what the fuck is he doing here? And then I saw who he was
Right.
with, and I was like, how did he get
Like,
you? You're too
uh-huh,
good. You're so much better than me.
uh-huh.
And like,
There was
oh,
some spell going on down there. There
well,
was magic,
I
something going in the water. I don't know.
think it's just because it was a college campus and everybody's like
Uh,
so horny. Honestly, that is one of my biggest regrets is I didn't sleep with enough people in college. And now I'm afraid to.
You know, I can't say I have that.
I'm jealous. I feel like that is the time of your life to be like so wild and crazy. And I was so
Right.
conservative and I was so cautious. And now I'm like even more conservative and cautious. And I'm like,
Well, I feel like it's interesting because like definitely had my time in college, but like my sister, she's a year younger and she just started like going out and like talking to boys. So she's 24 now, doing all of this for the first time and like she's a little party girl now. And I'm
me
just like
too.
it's so weird though to like see like I was doing this like 5, 6 years ago. And
Hmm.
if you want me to go out to a bar now, I'm like, ooh, like no, thank you.
Yeah.
But she's out till like 2, 3 in the morning. And it's just so, yeah, like I couldn't still be doing that.
I'm tired. Like
Yeah.
I had one
Uh-huh.
cider last night because I was
Uh-huh.
like, I'm reading my little smutty novel. I'll have a bev.
Yeah, why
And
not?
I got halfway through this drink
Uh-huh.
and I was like,
Uh-huh.
I gotta go to bed. I was
It's
like,
taking you out.
I was like, it's 8 p.m. Maybe it's
Uh-huh.
just because I'm at home, but I was like,
Right.
because don't get me wrong, like I've gone out with a couple of my girlfriends that are in town that you've met. Like I've
Yeah.
gone out with them a couple times and like I have had like moments of sobriety where I woke up and I was like,
Uh-huh.
I gotta drive home and I am fucked up.
Oh no.
And like I will say, like the last time I went out was I think
Uh-huh.
Halloween.
Okay.
I was making out with strangers. That was actually my most recent first kiss, but that wasn't like a relationship.
Right.
There was ski goggles guy, and he was a
Like a
really
first
good
and only
kisser.
kiss.
Well, there was several throughout the evening.
Okay.
I was like, flirty, fun, and cool. And I literally
Right.
the whole night was like, I just want to like go home to someone. And like, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm past the point of like, let me go find someone to shack up with for the
Oh,
night.
it's so much work. And then it's like, I don't want you at my house. So now I have to go to your house.
And I
You're
don't
a
want to be at
boy.
your house. All of my
Right.
things are at my house.
Exactly. Right. You're a boy. So it's probably like gross. And there's one pillow. And then I have to get home in the morning. Like, oh, that's just my worst nightmare now.
It's gonna smell and it's probably gonna be dirty. I don't know if
Ew.
they
Yeah.
have
And there's
toilet
like,
paper. Have you ever gone to a guy's
yeah,
place and there's no toilet paper?
no toilet paper, the seats up. And then like the classic in college is always like, let me go to the bathroom before I go to sleep. And then you like stumble upon like a pink toothbrush. You're just like, oh, that's so cool. That's so fresh and
You knew
fun.
I was coming over. That's crazy.
Love, I love that he got that just for me. I can't, we only met a few hours ago. How did you know?
So I had a girlfriend in high school who she was much older than me, and we like
Uh-huh.
caught up while I was in college, and she was like, she was dating this guy, like fully
Okay.
dating him, and came over to
Oh
his place,
no.
and he had thrown away her toothbrush, and there was a new one in the thing, but
And she was like scared.
his toothbrush was still the same.
Uh-huh.
And she was
Uh-huh.
like, I think he's cheating on me. So
I would have flipped out.
she did. She flipped out on him
Yeah.
and he was like, fucking calm down. I accidentally dropped your toothbrush in the toilet. And so I put out a new one for you.
You should have said that.
The
What
toilet
did
was
you want me
six
to
feet
think?
away. She was like, okay, that makes sense. And after the fact was like, it was 6 feet away. What did he do? Throw it? And
Right. No,
so
I
so she went,
yeah.
oh, okay. And she used it. and like stared at him while she used it. And it was somebody
Was he cheating
else's.
on her?
Yes.
See, they always are. That's what I'm saying.
No, she literally, he had
Love
two
it.
showers. He had two showers, and she was like, I'm gonna shower in the guest shower. And like after a couple weeks, I'm gonna collect the hair from the drain and see what color it is because it's not fucking mine because he's bald. And she pulled out a clump of blonde hair and she
Oh,
went to him and she was like, whose fucking hair is this in the drain?
yeah, put it in a Ziploc bag. Whose is this?
I was like, I fucking love you. This is, of course. I wish
Yeah.
I would have done that.
It's also like, why are you lying? If I'm coming to you accusing you of this, I'm not asking. I'm telling you I know, and you're getting one last chance
Right.
to tell the truth.
I see, you know what? You want to know what the issue was? Is for
Uh-huh.
me, I have only had one relationship where I've been like that
Uh-huh.
ever. And I would like come in and I would, this is how crazy I was. I would check the trash cans and I'd be like, there's a used condom in here. And he'd be
That would
like,
cause me to go insane.
oh, one of my buddies brought a girl over here. And I was like, you just let your friends come over and fuck people. And he was like,
Wait, where did that make sense in your little boy brain?
it's like, yeah, I found an open condom wrapper in his car. And it was one of the condoms that like I bought because I was like, these ones don't make me irritated. Like, okay,
Right.
whatever. And was like, my friends that were in town last week, I let them use my car. Like they probably had a quickie in here. And I was like screaming like crazy, like, that's such bullshit. You know it. And the best part, we were halfway down to Orlando on a road trip. And I was like, you fucking liar. Like, we're going
That's
to
what I'm
Disney
like,
World right
unlock the
now,
door.
and I'm finding your used condoms.
Yeah. Like, first, if you're gonna cheat, let's clean up the evidence. Okay, if that's really what you're gonna do, let's, you know,
Because here's
right
the
now
thing,
I
if you're gonna
catch you.
cheat, I'm gonna find out anyways.
Right, but it's like now I catch you and you think, I'm gonna say that I lent my friend my car and they had sex in my car and then they didn't clean up.
Well, that and also, I had been around these friends before, and I was
Right,
like, they're actually semi-classy people.
right.
They just wanted to have sex in my car. No, they didn't.
Right, that's so
Like,
weird.
one, logistically, it would not have worked for them because they were both extremely tall people and your car was small.
Also,
And
yeah, little
two,
tiny car.
No, I don't.
Right.
I do think more of them than they would be like, oh, I'm just gonna borrow my buddy's car and like have sex in it.
Right. I also feel like Tuscaloosa was such a driving town. Like everyone had their own car. So I
Well,
wouldn't need to
they
borrow
were
yours.
visiting from out of town. I will give credit for that at
Okay.
least. I knew that they were borrowing the car because I was driving this person. Like I had to pick them up. That was, oh my God,
Okay.
that was another thing. The amount of
Uh-huh.
times that I would pick this person up from random places on Sunday mornings. Do you remember this? Where I'd be like, oh, I gotta go drive and pick him up. And I'd be like, whose apartment is this? Because I've never
Yeah.
picked you up here before. And I know where all of your friends live.
Right.
And we're about 15 streets over from where your friends live.
Right.
Oh, I went home with my buddy so and his girlfriend lives here and I slept on the couch.
Mm. Sure.
I just got to the point where I was like, okay, sure.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
One at one time in college, it was at his apartment. One time in college, did I sleep on someone's couch that wasn't like a girlfriend's house?
I
Like,
don't think I ever slept on someone's couch in college.
yeah.
I was like, I
I
will call an Uber and go home.
woke up in the middle of the night to one of the other people there trying to assault me in my sleep, and I scurried out, and I was like, I'm sober now, and I drove home.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a story for another time, but
How do I not know this one?
yeah. Well, it was after you moved, and I was, you know, out looking for a little cutie and with like friends. And then I think we were all like, okay, like we'll go back to this apartment, like let's hang out. So we left the bar and then he just like didn't end up making his way back with us. And then so I ended up in the apartment and I was like, well, who I was here for is not here. So deuces. But then I was like, shit, I drove down here. Like my car is down here
Yeah.
and I'm like drunk. So I can't leave. I didn't want to like deal with like the Ubers and all that because I'm like broke. So I was like, all right, power nap on the couch. this is fine. There's no one here. Like, I'm good to go, whatever. Fall asleep, wake up, and I was like, whoa, I think I actually have to go home. And then I scurried out and ran downstairs and hopped in the little Beetle and drove my ass home.
I'm so sorry that you had that experience.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, not the first time.
Especially not in that town.
No, that, yeah, like
I got drugged so many times in Tuscaloosa.
I got drugged once and it was my 19th birthday. A guy invited me to his apartment. He was gonna make me dinner. He made me dinner and then he's like, "Do you want to go smoke in my bathroom?" I was like, "Do I want to go smoke in your bathroom?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." It was spice. And I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that that's what I was being given. And I was like, "I'm like really sleepy. Like I'm falling asleep." And he's like, well, like, let's just go lay down. Like, do you wanna you can go to sleep. And I'm like living in the dorms and I'm at like a downtown apartment. So I can't like walk. And I was like, no, 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 like I'm good. I gotta go. I have to get out of here. So who do I call to come get me? The boy that I'm in love with that'll never love me back. And he picks me on up, brings me back to my dorm, tells me that he loves me, but he doesn't want to see me anymore. And then I go upstairs and I go to bed.
Okay, I do want
That's
like content warning. None of this is funny. Like none of this is like it's
you
funny
just have
because
to
it's
like
like
laugh through it.
right. Like it's traumatic and it's like
Oh yeah.
all I can do is laugh about it and be like, "Oh, that was a horrible thing that happened."
Right. Like I'm never gonna talk to them again. I'm
No.
over it. It's like 6 years ago. There's nothing for me to do about it now.
No.
Which I wish I would have known better then to have a little
Yeah.
bit more self-respect. But
I always
that's
got drugged at bars.
I saw people get drugged at bars. I
Yeah.
taken care of people, but I was like a crazy person with my drink where I would just walk around like
My problem is that when someone's like, "I'm gonna buy you a drink," I'm like, "Okay." And one of the times too, like I watched the bartender make my drink. And
yeah.
like I don't know how it ended up getting drugged, but like I remember it was my first drink of the night. And then I remember being like, I'm only halfway through this drink and I'm already like hammered.
Yeah.
And I watched her pour
Was it
it
a
and it
guy
looked like a normal pour. Like that's crazy.
was it a guy you knew?
No. I had met him on a dating app that night and he was like, "Do you want to be my date to this party?" And I was like, "Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely." And I was like,
Um,
because I also remember I was like, "You don't really look like your pictures. Like you looked a lot hotter on the app."
they always did. Well, I won't say
Ugh.
always, but a lot of the time they did.
Have you ever seen guys in the wild taking
Uh-huh.
their profile pics where like their friend is going full photographer to like,
No, but I would love to.
oh my God, I saw it recently. I was in Chicago and there was this
Uh-huh.
guy and it was like four guys and they had a Nikon camera.
Oh my God.
And I was laughing because I was like, I have seen like I know how this photo is gonna look because I have swiped on this guy before.
Right,
Like
right.
not this specific guy, but like I've seen the photo that they're trying to make
Yeah,
here
yeah.
on so many dating apps.
I mean, like that's cute, like just girly things, but like how uncomfortable.
I know. Because I feel like it is something that like you see your girlfriends and you're like, oh,
Oh yeah.
I look hot today. I'm gonna update my profile, put this on.
Right, right,
Like a guy doing it, we're like, but also it makes sense. Like, when would they get profile photos?
right.
That's
But
not
I
them
also
holding a
feel like
fish.
I like the ones that are just like memes. Like that's what I'm there for. I don't want the nice cameras. I want a good meme.
Yes. I will say I'm so disappointed. I got back on a dating app
Okay.
just to like casually
It's out
swipe.
there.
So I've
Yeah.
only matched with like three people. And I
Okay.
have it so that it doesn't notify me because I'm like, I really don't need it being like, you haven't swiped today.
Yeah.
I didn't go on it for like 4 days and I didn't know
Uh-huh.
that I had matched with like the cutest guy
Ooh.
and it expired.
Tired.
I
Be
literally,
funny.
I wanted to throw up. I was like, I'm not paying money to put this back. But also,
But is he really cute? Like, is it what, 99 cents?
No, it's like $8.
Oh.
One of my exes,
Well,
our like meet cute story was that
yeah.
like I saw him on one dating app and we knew each other in real life. And so I didn't
Uh-huh.
want him to like know that I liked him because that would be
Uh-huh.
embarrassing. And this is so humbling. I saw him on one dating app, so I assumed he was on the other. So I went
Uh-huh.
on the other dating app and I set it to his exact it's like exact information.
Of
And I
course.
was like,
We've all been there.
and I was
Yeah.
swiping so hard. And then I left swiped him. And I was like, so I had to pay to go back. And then we matched on there. I paid the $8 to like unswipe on him and just
Uh-huh.
him. And he was like, this is such a cute story. And I was like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
Fucking
Okay,
ever.
fair. That's fair.
Okay, so like, I don't know, I've kind of had a type recently of
Okay.
tall men, long hair. This guy's 6'2". His about me says I have
Ooh.
the ability to enjoy mostly anything, but only when I want to. I test drugs meant for horses at work. Sense of humor kind of ranges from dumb to dark, kind of smart, but not when it counts. Bad at writing intros or anything about myself in general. Um, he is a chemist. He's
Okay.
29. His
Yeah.
interests were video games, horror movies, horror books, whiskey, and cats.
Okay.
He's a Taurus. Doesn't know
Ugh.
what he wants, doesn't want kids.
Okay.
This is the photo that sold me.
Oh no. I love it. I love it.
Um,
Completely different person.
completely. Honestly, I need a man with facial hair that's like nicely groomed and a thick,
Yeah.
oh my God, a thick neck. A man.
It's not one of the things that you think about, but then when you're like, you know what?
I have a thicker neck. Okay.
Okay. You need someone
I
to match.
kind of like, I'm sorry, but if you look like a bobblehead, I can't do
Yeah,
it.
that is not the look.
Ick.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
agree.
I
That's
want to feel
fair.
like a dainty little princess
Right. Just like little Toulouse. Sweet dainty
who's
prince.
so mad that I just had to like get up to show you that. But yeah, so I sent you this. Oh my God, let me pull it up. You're gonna die. Of course, it's to Taylor Swift also. Oh,
Love.
we'll live reaction it right now
Perfect. Perfect.
because it made me scream. And it
Mm.
made me want a first like I things I would do for part of it too is like the way that he looks at her.
Uh-huh.
Just oh my God, it makes me feral. Okay.
Are these just two random people?
She deleted it.
Wait, who?
This girl on TikTok.
Was it just two random people?
Yeah, it was like her and this guy.
Ooh, maybe.
Oh,
Ugh.
I'm disappointed. Okay, first of all, the bitch named Becca who posted this photo and it got or video and it got 4 million likes.
Oh, wow. So something had to
Yeah,
happen.
because guess what? There's 4 million touch starved, horny women on this earth who are not willing to settle for an asshole guy and want someone to give us this amazing, magical first kiss moment. You are not one of them. I don't know how to tell you this, Dana, but you have love. And I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, thanks.
You the definition of finding love in a hopeless place.
You got that right. Ooh. I will say, okay, I don't think I've had like any crazy, like amazing, like first kiss, like stories, I guess. But I feel like I have had like guys like do nice, like little gestures that I remember.
Oh, what are they?
Well, like corny at the time. But do you remember senior year when I was serenaded by a band?
Iconic that this man
When
was like,
an
you need to
hour,
start, no, you need to play music for this girl because
well, an
she's the
hour before,
world.
an hour before, he's like, "Yeah, we're fighting over you," and I was like, "Oh,
As you should.
right. Thank you, thank you, thank you." So
I'm
of
not
course I'm like,
surprised.
right.
Honestly, You know what is so funny?
Hmm.
Remember the guy that he was like, "Oh, we're both fighting over you," the like blonde one.
Yeah.
Does he not look like he bit people in kindergarten? Like he looks like he had spiky hair and bit people.
Those kids are always like the most fun though. Like when you're like little.
I avoided them. I was like, they talk during tests.
They probably like eat dirt outside or like eat worms.
Oh my God. I remember I like had a birthday party where I invited everybody in the class and
Uh-huh.
that version of that kid showed up and was like insane. And I was like, this is just not how you behave in public.
Right. Who's raising you?
I'm like, sis. I was like, you had bad parents.
That's true. Those birthday parties were wild when it was like we have to invite everyone.
Are you
Not
ready
fun.
for the most batshit wild one ever?
Yes.
Every one in my family, when we turned 6, this was what we did,
Okay.
where we called the bush wildlife people and we're like,
Okay.
hey, we're gonna have a birthday party for a bunch of kids, right?
Um,
Bring they would bring a truck full of animals and they'd do like an animal show
oh, the most fun birthday parties. Yes.
where they were like, this is a turtle. Now 5 people get to come up and hold the turtle and get a photo, and we're gonna teach you
Yep.
about it. And then they'd every single time they're like, they'll bring a big cat.
Ooh, we
So
didn't get a big cat.
one of my older sisters, she got a tiger, and they were
Way
like
at our birthday party?
at a birthday party, and like this is
Like a real
again,
tiger?
I'm from Florida, so it was like Tiger King people, where they were like,
But
we
like
have all
real?
of these rescue animals, and then they were like, where's the birthday girl? And you have this little 5 or 6 year old girl walking out and is like, hi, that's me. And they're like, you get to pet the tiger, and it would be an adult tiger. And they'd take like a T-bone steak and throw it on the ground. So the tiger's eating this T-bone steak, and you got like a little 5 year old girl like,
In my head, I'm thinking like big cat and they bring out like a Maine Coon.
no, my for me it was a bobcat. One of
Like
my
so
sis
fun, but like that's so scary.
it's in retrospect so dangerous.
Yeah.
And they're just like holding it on a leash. It's not even
Mhm.
it doesn't even have like it has a collar.
Not like a harness,
No,
not like a muzzle.
no. It's
Right.
eating a piece of raw steak while I'm like,
Oh my God. Oh, that's so scary.
and that's why I love a big cat.
I do also love a big cat. Have you seen there was a video? It was a calico, like Persian cat in a cat show, and the judge is like examining her, just
And
like the
she's like,
only
get the fuck away from me.
no, she's like the only thing wrong with her is that she's not mine. Like she was so beautiful. And then she just picks her up and it's a big loaf cat. She goes, first prize or best in show, first prize. So now whenever like my cats are looking extra scrumptious, I'll just pick them up first prize, best in show when they're just looking extra like chunky.
No, I have seen I guess it's not a Persian, but this like
Uh-huh.
this cat show where the trainer is like, okay. And the cat like clearly does not want to be there and is like,
Yes. And
and
she starts
she's like,
attacking.
owner. And it hits her in the face. And she's like, owner, owner, owner. And they're like, girl, it hissed at you and you continued to try to touch it.
Right. And like you do this as your job, don't you know
Are you stupid?
about these animals?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it baffles me. But I think what is another sweet thing that a guy's done for you?
Oh,
Or just like
uh,
maybe not even sweet things, but just like the weirdest thing that in the moment you were like, oh, I'm fucking you. Oh, it's on, it's on.
oh, well, well. Well, if we're going with that first one, the same serenading and fighting evening when he said, Alexa, turn the lights off or turn the lights on or off, whatever it was. I was like, this is a grown man. This is a whole adult. Um,
The horniest words alive. Alexa, turn the lights
yeah,
off.
I was just like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that. I immediately went out and bought one of those light bulbs like the next day.
Um, this is like my grossest one.
Uh-huh.
I one time was in public and was like, I don't want to chew this piece of gum anymore. And this guy was like, just stuck his hand out and I spit it into his hand. And he carried my gum that I just didn't want to chew. And I was like,
Why didn't he just like put it in the garbage?
There was no garbage around. And I was like, it's bad for nature to just like spit it out.
Could you imagine if he put it in his mouth and swallowed it? That would have been so bad.
Honestly, if he put it in his mouth and chewed it, I probably would have been like, that's fine.
Oh, I
Like, if we're
guess.
swapping spit, you can put my gum in your mouth.
But it's like a ball of spit.
Damn it, I've had people spit in my mouth.
I get it. I think it's just the context for me where I'm like, ooh, it's like
Yeah.
daytime hours. We're in public.
Yeah, no. God, what is the most like romantic thing though? I feel like that's a real question. Like cheesy romantic. I feel like having people serenade you is a good one.
Yeah, I feel like I usually err away from cheesy. Like I'm not usually into that. So like I think I kind of unless it's like not unless it's someone that like I don't really know that well, it's not something that I would want. And I feel like I've expressed that.
Yeah.
So like Nate, my boyfriend, he knows that like I don't want public displays. I don't want
Hmm.
anything like that. Like I like private things. Most romantic. Honestly, I don't know. He
I will
helps me
say a
pay
lot
my
of the like
bills, and I love that.
I will say that's something that turns me on so much is like, no, I got it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
financial assistance.
ugh,
Ooh. Ooh.
the way that like in all of my fantasies, it's always a rich man.
Yeah.
Like, so I am planning on buying a car. I am
Okay.
actively looking into it, saving all of the things. And I reached out to like one of our friends and I was like,
Uh-huh.
how long do I have to date a guy for him to like give me a car? And he was like,
That might be a while.
well, also it like depends on what you're willing to do to get the car. And I
So
was like,
true.
can you like put that in a contract though, where it's like,
Right.
or
What kind of car? What price range are we
no,
looking at?
literally. And that was one of the things I was like, I'm not out here like, give me a Maserati, give me a Bentley,
No.
like give me a
Yeah,
RAV4.
right.
I
A
want a
nice,
RAV4.
stable car.
Right. I want a good stable car that's not going to like break the bank if it ever needs maintenance, right?
Uh-huh,
That's like built to
uh-huh.
last.
Exactly. These are the things that excite me now.
I feel like that's like a one date.
One date.
I'm my time is very expensive.
I'll say though, I bought my car 2 years ago. It's not that bad,
Yeah.
but I don't
Well,
know what it looks
part of
like
it
now.
too is like I don't have a car payment right now.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I am gripping onto that, but I'm like, just I need more space.
Yeah, I
And
love my little SUV.
I don't like being so low to the ground either. I want an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's
this was the
nice.
starter car, and I plan
Right.
on giving it to one of my younger siblings, is going to be
Okay.
16 pretty soon.
Mm.
And so I was like, I am willing to like pass this down
Right.
and get a new car,
Right.
but also the thought of having to go to a dealership and deal with a man that's going to try to outprice me. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
I need a man to also life hack. Have you seen the TikTok where this lady was like, every time my parents buy a new car, they go in separately to get quotes. And then they come in
Mm.
together because usually my mom gets quoted more than my dad gets quoted. And they end
Right.
up walking out paying less than either of them were
Than either of
quoted
them.
because
Right.
they're like, that's interesting that you told my wife that this was an extra $5,000.
Right. Hmm. How'd you get to that figure? Yeah.
And then they walk out and it's even cheaper. And I'm like,
Right. Yeah, that must be nice.
must be so nice. But also, I
Uh,
will say, has your taste in men changed or has it always been?
I've always like I think that I have different tastes. So like there's the taste where it's like I think like this type is like cute or like
Yeah.
I like, but I don't think that it's like not feasible, but like responsible or
Yeah.
realistic. So I've always liked me a nerdy boy and very smart man
Yeah.
because I'm like that. I like to just ask questions and have them answered. I like to just feel like someone else can like set
I need
things
you
up
to be
and I can just be
competent.
there. Yeah, that's really what it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's relatable.
Stupid.
I feel like mine has changed a little bit.
Mhm.
Like physical attractiveness has become
Yeah.
more important to me because I feel like before
Interesting.
I was like, don't care. It can develop.
Right.
And now I'm like,
Right.
it has to be there.
Right. Can it? Yeah.
Cause like
That's
two
fair.
or three times I've had people that I was like
Uh-huh.
unsure of.
Uh-huh.
And maybe it's my problem. I always give people like 3 months. I give it three
Uh-huh.
months to like
Oh,
figure out
that's
how I
too long.
feel.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh,
3 months. Give them 3 days.
honestly, that's what I should do. I should 3 date.
Yeah. Because you don't have, you're not going on a date every day. You have time to like
Right.
mull that over. 3 months, I feel like that's a really long time.
Yeah. Well, okay. Have you heard about the 3 month rule from Canada's dating coach?
No.
She's on TikTok. Oh my God.
Okay.
So, a little bit of backstory about her. She
Mhm.
is married. She's in Canada. She's a dating coach, as the name
Okay.
suggests. But she used
Right.
to be like a adult dancer,
Okay.
right?
Slay.
So
Yeah.
she has been around a lot of men and
Mhm.
has like a lot of experience. And then she ended up going to school for
Okay.
like communication, relationship studies, whatever. And
Uh-huh.
she wrote this book where like her whole dating philosophy is like,
Uh-huh.
you don't kiss them for 3 months. For the first
Okay.
3 months, there's no physical intimacy, no kisses. You can like hold hands, but like
Right.
you're not kissing, you're not fucking.
Right.
And I remember like reading this in college and being like, I'm gonna try this and being told like, good fucking
Uh-huh.
luck.
Yeah, good luck.
No one's gonna do that. And that was like her whole thing was like a man that wants you will relentlessly pursue you. And
Hmm.
like you build that bond of like he's
Right.
having to like actively be like a good person.
Right.
Like, yeah, if he's a fuckboy that's just trying to sleep with you, he's not gonna respect that boundary.
Right, because what's the reason? I'll just move on.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And I like have almost every guy that I've dated recently kind of like said that of like 3 month rule. But at first I was like, I just won't sleep with you for 3 months. And then it was always
Right.
like, oh,
No, I get
but we
that.
could. And then I ended up doing it. And I was like, oh, you don't respect me.
Right. Yeah.
But I think I want to try it of like no kissing, but also,
Yeah. It's difficult.
well, yeah, because like what if I wait 3 months and then I'm like, I hate the way you kiss.
It's like I don't get people that can't have sex until they're married. Sorry. You got a test drive, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It is a valid reason.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to hell, but I have.
No,
Sorry.
yeah. Like that just won't work for me.
Well, there was this guy freshman year that was in my English class. He was 2 years older. The first red flag was you're 2 years older than me. Why are you coming to my dorm? Number one.
I'm not one to speak on this.
Number two, I think like the first time I was like, okay, I'm definitely just like super drunk, like whatever, I don't care. And then he like wanted to come over to my dorm, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then he got there, and I was like, I think you need to leave. And he got like mad. He was like, what do you mean? Like, I came here to hang out with you. And I was like, okay, you came here to hang out with me, and now I would like you to leave. Like, see ya. See ya, bye. See you in class. And he like, yeah, he like genuinely got upset and then started like yelling at me and was like, well, why'd you have me over if you didn't want to do anything, blah, blah. And I was like, sorry, just not into you like that. Like, I'm allowed to do that. And then like the rest of the semester, that was a little weird, but
I remember I had a
uh-huh.
similar thing where like a guy came over and it was not in the realm that I was like, oh, long term I could make that work, right?
Right. Right.
So we hung out and then I was like,
Mm.
okay. And I'm walking him out the door and
Uh-huh.
he unmatched me. He was walking out of my dorm unmatched. And I was like,
It's like just write me down in your notebook and check me off. My
I,
God. Like,
the way that I was like, I want to slander this man and be like, I'm sorry, I was not the problem.
right. Right. If you'd like some honest feedback, I'm happy to provide. But it wasn't
Mm.
me.
I was like, I was gonna unmatch you.
Right. Right. Yeah, you can't do that to me. Who do you think you are?
And then I literally, my roommate at the time was like, oh my God, maybe that's like his thing.
No.
I don't know. In Tuscaloosa, I wouldn't put it past him.
That's true. That school had the weirdest men ever. And just like everyone guys and girls like thought that they were the hottest shit to ever exist.
And some of them were.
Some of them were,
Some of them were,
but
but
a
the
lot of
ones
them
who
were
it was
not.
like so like in their DNA that they were the hottest person alive never were.
Right.
Like I remember going over to this guy's place and I wrote and I the most memorable thing about it was
Uh-huh.
I had the same lift there and back and she had lifted me to
Oh, I
someone's
remember
place
this.
like 2 nights beforehand. She was like, this is a different place, baby. And I was like, Nicole,
That's happened to
please.
me and it's so awkward.
Oh, I loved it. She was a younger woman. And so
Yeah.
she was just like, do you need me to stop and we can get protection? Or like, and I was like, no, I'm fine, whatever.
Hey, thanks, girl, but
Ugh, loved her. I always tipped her like crazy because I was like,
uh-huh.
love you. This guy was
Yeah.
awful. Like,
Oh.
didn't come down to get me. Like, literally was like, oh, just like wait for someone to come out so you can get into the building.
The amount of times and you're just like, yeah, totally, that's normal.
It makes me so it makes me think of the Olivia Rodrigo song where she's like, I'm showing up
Yeah.
at your new place and you're standing at the door like, oh, you didn't even come down to get her. Oh, no. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
This dude was like smoking or drinking or something and like didn't offer me anything, which I was like, okay, that's fine. And he was like,
Right.
is he gonna blow me?
Sometimes I
And I
get
was like,
nervous. Like,
no, I don't do that. He was like, you're gonna come over here and you're not gonna suck my dick? And I was like, no.
I'm not, and actually I'm gonna go.
Um, no. And he was like,
Right.
the fuck do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I told you
And I was
no.
like, "Okay, well, I gotta go because you're like an asshole." And he was like, all right, do you know how to get out? Bye. And I was like,
I will say though, like that did happen. Like guys were just very much like,
you're not cute.
right.
You're not popular.
I'm just like, you're not a good person. Like, why do you
No.
think that this
Also,
is okay?
you invited me over. You asked me to be here.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I will never forget. I got in that woman's Uber and she was like, that was quick. And I was like, let me tell you what just fucking happened.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And next time I get in this car, don't bring me back here. No matter what I say.
I never went back there. I never saw this guy again. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're like a bad person. No thanks. And there were so many of those.
Oh yeah, I feel like a lot of that went on with just it was very like transactional.
And I feel like it's only gotten worse.
Yes, I agree.
Like I
Where
have a younger cousin who's in college
uh,
and like the things I see her posting, I'm like, you could not pay me to be in a college, like a big college social scene right now. Like I already struggled with it
yeah,
5 years ago.
yeah.
Today, I literally think I would have had a nervous breakdown.
Oh yeah. And I just feel like everything has gotten more intense. And I'm like, I'm sure that's how everyone, once
Yeah.
you're out of this situation, that's how everyone sees it. But like, yeah, I couldn't do it now. It just seems a lot more like cutthroat, like not about that.
Especially, I feel like the rise of TikTok really hurt college culture.
Mhm.
Because, like,
Yeah.
so it was already, I feel like, bad when we were there because it was like Snapchat and Instagram were there, right? So it was
Yeah.
like if you had a night out and you made some poor decisions, it was on someone's Snapchat.
Oh yeah.
But the
It
Snapchats
was
would
on
delete and like
Snapchat.
you just had to pray that no one saved it.
Right.
Now people are putting it on TikTok and that shit will blow up
Right.
and it'll follow you.
Oh yeah. Well, even just like while we were in school, the amount of people where it's like you have a bad night, you get it on Snapchat. Okay, then someone records it and sends it in to like Barstool.
Hmm.
And those pages, they don't care. They won't take it down.
No. And that was
And
always, I remember my parents were like, we follow all of the Barstool accounts for the school. If I
mhm,
see you on it, I will rip your ass out. And I was like, not a
yeah,
concern.
right.
And then I'm like, oh, damn, would I have had like a better experience if I had like not been constantly crippled by the fear that like I was
Right.
so paranoid all the time? Cause like I feel like it's so important to have a place where you're allowed to make mistakes and you're allowed to learn those lessons. And I feel like that's why it's like
Right.
so hard these like your 20s because it's like okay I'm supposed to make
Mm,
mistakes so that I can learn but
mm,
also if I make a mistake it's recorded and then it's going to be remembered and counted against me for the rest of my life
right.
and that's not fair especially when 20 years
Exactly.
ago it was so encouraged of like go make all of these mistakes the worst that's going to happen is someone is going to take like a digital photo
Right.
and you'll be fine
Right.
and now it just it carries everywhere the
It,
things I
it
would give
carries. Mhm.
I would
Well,
love
it's
to
like
like go clubbing without phones.
that would be fun. Well, it's like it carries, but it's also just like anything. I feel like at this point, like even think about like if you post on Instagram about like, oh, I just moved to like a new city or like I just started this new job.
Mhm.
And then if that doesn't work out, and then you're like, well, now I posted it, so people are going to ask me about it.
And even
And
if people don't ask you about it, they're thinking about it.
right. Because then it's like, well, I just saw that you moved over here, but now you're living at home. Or I just
Mhm.
like, and yeah, I'm guilty where like I'll do that. Like, I'm not going to say it to your face. I don't really
No,
care. Like, but
but
I'll
we're
look and
encouraged
I'll
to put
know
all
that.
of our life out there.
Right.
You know, like we follow these influencers who signed up and said, I am going to share my life with the world. I'm going to get paid
Right.
to do that. But then everybody is a micro influencer to the degree of like, we are sharing our lives with the people that we've met once or twice. Like, I still have
Right.
all of the girls that slept with
Oh,
my
yeah.
ex's friends.
Oh my God. But
I
yeah.
still have all of them. I still follow them. I love to see when they're doing well. But
Oh,
like,
always. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen some of them like move home and I'm like, oh, what
Mhm.
happened? Like, I wonder. And
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
no one is out there posting, like, oh, I'm having a horrible time. Oh, hey, shit sucks.
Right.
No one is posting those things. And
Oh,
if they are, they're like a fraction of what's actually going on.
right.
And I feel like there's a lot of beauty and a lot of harm, I think, in social media, especially within that spectrum of like people are watching and people are remembering.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think about I see it all the time. We're like, 10 years from now, no one's going to talk about this. No one's going to care about it. No one's going to remember it. I still remember the guy that sneezed and a glob of snot came out of his nose, made eye contact with me, and had to like, and it went back up into his. I
Uh,
will never forget it. I know that
yeah,
he's probably thought about it and gone, she's forgotten by now. I will never
no,
forget it.
no, I don't forgive and I don't forget.
I,
Like, sorry.
but it's like stupid shit like that. And then it's like, and then you're going to put it on the internet? Like that was something
Yeah.
that happened where like we were the only two witnesses. And I
Right.
saw it and I'm like, I fucking remember that.
Right. And now, yeah, it's like every little teeny tiny moment is recorded, posted, and then even with like TikTok, where if you're public over, you could post something and you're like, oh, 20 people that I know max will see this. And then you wake up and like 100,000 people saw it.
That was, I think you remember this when I was when COVID hit. And I
Yes.
posted
Yeah.
this, I was like, okay, I'll start posting like silly little videos because like my friends followed me. And I
Right.
posted this one video where I was like, I keep seeing everybody talking about girls with daddy issues, but like, what about the girls with dads? And I went to bed and I woke up and like
Yeah.
600,000 people had seen the video. And I was like, I
And
hope
it's
my
one
dad
thing,
wasn't one of them.
right? It's one thing where it's like, okay, if it's 600,000 people that I don't know, I'll never come in contact with, we'll never cross paths. Fine.
I had
Whatever. It's for the
panic attack. I was like,
girls.
is this going to impact
But
my ability to get a job?
right.
Because like it shouldn't. Me
Right.
sharing my personal life should not overlap with my ability to get a job. Like
Hmm.
church and state.
Exactly.
I think it's so disgusting the people that like attack teachers and they're like, you're supposed to be teaching my child and you have a social life.
Right. What do you want
Yeah.
them to do? Yeah, they're normal
Literally.
people.
Okay, so I guess I'll just like do whatever the fuck I want and not share it. But like,
Right.
okay, why do I not get to share my life? Why is my life not worthy of being
Mhm.
documented because of my profession?
Right.
That's not true.
Mhm. Well, it's like the same thing where like people like 15, 20 years ago, like you'd have to worry about getting jobs if you had tattoos. Like
Yeah.
I think well, it'll phase and it'll evolve, but like even still, you'll see like Brittany Broski got fired from her corporate job for
She worked
her
at a
online
bank.
presence. Yeah,
She was like a bank teller. She's very open with it, where she was like, I'm not even like important at this job.
right,
And she got
right,
fired because of a kombucha video,
right,
which honestly, shame on them and like good for her for making a career out of it. But like,
right,
to be like, I'm so low on the totem pole. And because my videos went viral,
right,
because I got popular on the internet, now you're like, oh, well, now you're not allowed to have a job.
right. Yeah, sorry, I'm funny. Like,
Literally.
but it's also like she didn't post the video and is like, by the way, this is where I work, this is my job, this is my company. Like,
Literally, it's not like she was saying company secrets. Like she didn't
and
do anything bad.
no, and it's not even like bad PR or anything like that. So I think hopefully we'll kind of like progress past it,
Hmm.
but it doesn't mean that it's not gonna like screw people over now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
sucks.
Who knows? Maybe, well, I mean, it doesn't help that they're banning TikTok, but maybe one day there will be a
Oh,
bill where they're like, you can't use someone's social media like against them unless it's dangerous activity or like they're being hateful towards,
yeah.
groups of people or anything like that. Not to like
I feel
hard
like,
pivot. Ooh,
oh
what?
no, go.
No, 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 go ahead.
I don't remember now. Go for it.
So I had this like moment where,
Mhm.
that like sound where it's like, it's like the Jurassic Park thing and it's like, we have arrived or like whatever.
Uh-huh.
I hit that point and I have started my self tanning journey. Like I've arrived that I've decided that I am like the sexiest, baddest bitch alive. And so I have to
I love
start
it.
self
Of
tanning because like
course.
I feel like everybody did it in college. And I was like, no, I just am like pasty. And like I love that about myself. And also like
Mhm.
it just seems like so much work.
It is a lot of work. I'll
But
say that.
I did it last night.
Okay.
The stuff that I used smelled
Uh-huh.
delicious.
Ooh, what did you use?
I used the Sally Hansen Perfect Legs tanning water. It smelled like
Okay. I like
cupcakes.
the water. Ooh.
So good.
Mhm.
And then I did the Isle of Paradise drops for my face.
Very nice.
I only did like one light coat and like
Yeah.
two drops on my face. So
It
it's just
looks
like
nice.
just a little glow. I
Yeah.
did not wash my hands after, and I learned the hard way. Note to
Remember how
self.
orange my hands used to be?
Um, my wrists look like I've been jerking off Oompa Loompas.
Use like regular lotion on your hands
Yeah.
beforehand, and that'll help like blend it.
Well, so here's the thing with the water is that
Mhm.
you spray and then you rub it in.
Mhm. Yep.
And so I have learned what
Mhm.
areas of my body I can't reach.
Oh, you learned that real quick with self-tanning.
Um, I didn't like I thought that I did like my whole like the underside of my ankles. I rubbed. They are so light.
Hmm.
I don't know what happened. I have two large squares on my back, but I was like,
Yep.
I remember doing my back and like I had to also spray it on my back. And I was like, I just did such a good job. And I'm like, I don't think I sprayed it.
And then you get like sweaty and then it's hard to dry.
Well, the tanning water dries so fast.
Mhm.
So it was like, it literally was like a race against the clock where I'm like, for my,
You should get like one of the continuous spray bottles. Put
well,
it in there.
this one was nice because
Mhm.
again, I only wanted like a light dusting. So it was just
Right.
like, and then I rubbed it.
Right.
And I think it was a really good experience besides the fact that like I missed spots on my back. And I like totally made the joke to one
Mhm.
of my guy friends where I was like, oh my God, I think I need to like actually get back out there. Like, I need to find someone who will rub
Need
me
help.
down on my back.
Mhm. Nate does it for me.
Yeah, seriously. I'm
Mhm.
like, I want to. And he was like, you need to put that in your dating app profile. Of like, I need
Please rub
someone to rub
myself
my fake
in.
tan into my back. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm the most basic bitch there is. And like, honestly, I get why people do it. I,
Oh, I wake up without depression.
Dana, I woke up this morning and I was like,
Mhm.
when did I become the skinniest, most attractive, baddest bitch in the world?
Right? Oh,
I
I
was like,
know.
I have to
Changes
get
everything.
naked right now. And I was like,
Mhm.
who the fuck is that?
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Well, when I worked at the gym at school, I would get free spray tans.
And you know
Oh,
what I'm curious? Because you said it was like the clear coat spray tan, which
yeah.
I think my experience with spray tans was so varied because I thought about it and I was like, I've only ever had the one. And then I was like, no, I had two.
Uh-huh.
I paid $10 for someone to spray me down in a basement. And I said, only one coat, please. And it was so, so, so light because they were
Mhm.
doing like a lighter shade to begin
Right.
with. And then I was like, oh, only one coat. So it was like barely noticeable. And then
Right.
the second time she was using a darker shade and was like, you're going to want two coats.
That was in
And
the kitchen.
yes, which for the viewers at home, Dana and I were roommates and we graduated at the same time and we were taking graduation photos together and we thought we should get a spray tan. So we
Or
invited over one of our girlfriends from our sorority and she spray tanned us in our kitchen. We did not cover the blinds. We were butt naked
We're the
in the
naked
living
roommates,
room.
anyways, or the
Um,
naked neighbors.
yeah, I mean, we were the naked neighbors, and I know that the guys
Yeah.
across the street loved it. Just two bad bitches. But so
Mhm.
we sat there with my little pink hair dryer, like one coat, dry, 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 dry,
I
dry.
remember that.
And my ex came over because he was staying with us. Do you remember
Oh my
this? Did you
God. We
fucking
were
know?
all naked.
We were completely naked. And he like we had the tent up. So when he walked in, he said he didn't
Yeah.
see anything because the tent was up. But I had like told him, hey, like we're getting spray tan tonight. And he came in from like his real world job and like came into the apartment and was like, oh my God, oh my God. And he covered his
Sorry,
eyes and like
ladies.
ran back to my room. And we were like,
Um,
all right, whatever. And I remember like walking
yeah.
in and he was like, you smell like my ex-girlfriend. And I was like,
Thanks.
I was so dark
Mm-hmm.
because I remember she did one coat of that. And I was like, I feel like one coat is enough. She was like, no, trust me, you're going to want two coats. And I said, okay. And then I was like,
You know that she spray tans her face every single day?
she told me that. And I was like, because she had, and it was so funny to me because do you remember it was like a rinkety suitcase
Okay.
that you would find on the side of the road, a professional
Oh
spray
yeah.
tanning machine,
Yeah.
like the tube and everything. She was like going full chemist on us. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is amazing to watch.
Well, when I went on vacation with her, she brought that and would
She
spray
said she
tan me in
brings it
the
everywhere.
shower.
I
Yeah.
literally one time was talking to her because she used to wear, she did pageants and she
Mhm.
had the most like insane bathing suit. And I was like, girl, the tan lines though. And she said, those don't exist.
Yeah.
I was like, what? She was like, I spray tan myself every day.
Uh-huh.
Because it was like a one sleeve and then it had like a whole crisscross design. And I was like, oh, that's gotta be insane. And she was like, no, I just like spray the other parts a little bit more to like balance it. And I was
Right.
like,
Oh,
uh,
I've had a spray tan kit like in my Amazon wish list for like 3 years. And I'm like, one day I'll spend the $300 like a crazy person.
for
But
like a gun.
like her, yeah.
Oh, I feel like you should.
I want, and you know what? She's a happy, beautiful girl, and I
Yeah.
want to be a happy, beautiful girl too.
I want to be a happy, beautiful girl who can reach her back.
Yeah,
One of my girlfriends
that.
was like, put your mitt on the corner of a hanger, a coat hanger, and use that. And I said,
That's smart.
that's so smart. I don't have a mitt. And she said, what the hell do you mean you don't have a mitt? I was like,
Well,
it's clear.
yeah,
Why would I
if
need
you
it?
use the water, get like a latex glove so that it doesn't soak into your hands.
That's smart. I have seen the little twins that do their self tan.
Uh-huh.
I've seen them do it where they're like,
Mm.
we swear by the glove method.
I like it for like the clear water. I will say I always, no matter what kind of tan I use, no matter if I use a mitt, if I use a glove, whatever, I get streaks every time. So I don't know how to fix that.
I'm okay with it because like you
But you
can
can,
only
I'm
tell
like,
if you look super close.
right. And you know that this is fake. So like,
Right.
who cares?
I'm not doing this to look like I naturally do. If I wanted to look natural, I'd stay pale.
Right. Here I go fry myself in the sun.
I also, and that's the thing, I don't want to look like I fry myself in the sun.
No.
And I also, I don't know, I needed to look like I have a little bit of like life in me.
Yeah.
So I was looking Victorian, sickly child.
I feel that, especially like in the dead of winter. Ugh.
Well, that and like, so here's the thing.
Mhm.
I did something very unlike myself, and
Okay.
I took a mirror pic at the gym
Love.
and I posted it on my Instagram.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I look so sexy. And I looked at it again and I was like, I look so pale. And like
Uh-huh.
pale to the point that like you can't even see some of the muscle definition. And I was
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
this is why bodybuilders get spray tans for like physique stuff so that you can
Yep.
see where the muscles
Mhm.
are. And I
Right.
was like, I think I have to tan myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did it.
Yeah.
And literally this morning I was like, I've already put it on the internet that I'm going to be very naked this summer. I'm about to be so
Yeah.
fucking naked this summer.
I love that for you.
You know what I am considering too?
What?
I think I might reach out to an old buddy of mine and be like, should I get my
Uh-huh.
boobs done?
My sister's trying to get her boobs done this summer,
But she
and
wants to
I'm
make
very
hers
jealous.
smaller.
She wants to do a reduction, but they can put in like I don't know if it's called a surgical or an internal bra. And
The
it's like
mesh.
collagen. Yeah.
Yes.
She wants to get that.
That those do
So,
look good. I want like a little bit,
yeah.
just a tad. Like if I could get like lipo into my tits, I feel like that would be great.
I would say at least do like a consultation and just see.
Yeah.
That doesn't lock you into anything.
I am nervous though, because I like don't know if I trust the surgeons where I'm at. I just feel like if you're gonna get your boobs
Yeah.
done, you're not going to Kentucky.
Right. That's fair. You want to look in like big cities. I would ask around.
I met a girl in a bar bathroom who showed
Perfect.
me her absolutely gorgeous boobs that were done by this guy in Chicago.
Okay.
And she was like, it was cheaper than going to Miami.
Yeah.
She said it was an 18th birthday gift from her parents, which I was like, you are,
I love that.
wow, you're so blessed, baby girl. That's crazy.
Must be
But
nice.
just like a little bit to like,
Yeah.
I don't
Just some
know.
oomph. I get
Right.
that.
I mean, I feel like my
Fair.
whole life I was like, I want to get boobs.
Hmm.
But part of me is like, I should wait until I have kids.
That's my thought, where I'm like, I want a bit of a reduction and I want to lift and I want to wait till I'm done having kids.
Because I think I want it
Especially,
to be a push present.
there you go.
Like, I will push these kids out of me, and then I want
Mhm.
new boobs when they're done wrecking mine.
Right. Yes. New tatas, please.
Right.
That's
Well, because I've seen too, like sometimes people's boobs get even smaller after breastfeeding.
crazy. But that would be nice. I think I wished for big boobs when I was little and I got what I wished for and it was too much. Too much.
I never wished for big boobs until I was like 12. And I was like, because I started getting boobs before anybody else.
Oh, me
And
too.
then, but here's the thing, is they started happening and then they just
Right.
stopped
And
and
then they
everybody else
stop.
actually got boobs. And I was like,
Where's mine?
so you started and you stopped. What did we do?
Right, right. Where'd we go wrong? Oh, I was wearing like C cup bras in fourth grade.
That I went to school with a girl like that. And
It
she
was
was like,
terrible.
this sucks. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I was 5'2" in like
Hmm.
fourth grade. I got so tall in comparison to my peers, and then the rest of them got taller than me.
Yep.
So I like was tall and I had a big ass.
Uh-huh.
My hips got so wide so fast. And I was like my butt is just gigantic.
Right.
That's all I have. And at the time, having a big ass wasn't cool because it was the
Was it cool?
2000s.
No one cared.
No.
Yes.
And then high school happened and people were like, you've got an ass though. And I was like, yeah, but nobody here wants to fuck
Who
me.
gives a shit about that? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Uh-huh.
Well, never mind.
I feel like though, like when I had like my boobs, when they came in, I was so excited because that was like in whatever. And then yeah, you get to high school and everyone's like, well, butts are the thing. I'm like,
Right.
what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? I
And
thought this was gonna be my time.
right. And like, I have always dated guys that were like, I love your ass. I love your butt. Your butt is
Uh-huh.
amazing. And I,
Uh-huh.
one time, honestly, this has happened more than once, but the first time it happened was like jarring. I had a guy that was like, you have the best tits. And I was like, me? And he said, yeah, I can hold both of them with one hand. And I was like, um, you can.
Thanks.
He was like holding me up against the wall, making out with me, like both boobs, one hand. And I was like,
Mhm.
can you put me down?
You buy the boobs.
It's like,
Sir,
I have to go.
sir, please release me. Thank you.
Yeah, release me from your grip. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, it
Appreciate it
was,
though. Oh, that's so uncomfortable.
oh, it was so bad. And now I just have, I hate when people get grabby with my butt. That is one thing that like
Really?
guys, because they always do the thing where they like grab both of your butt cheeks and they're like pulling them apart. And I'm like,
I'm like, you're
ow.
gonna rip me in half.
Like,
Like,
what are you doing this for?
Oh my God. No, that's true though. That is uncomfortable.
Guys do shit to women that like no one has ever done this to you, right? And I feel like they're like, this must feel great. It's like, no, it
Um,
doesn't.
it
This would not,
actually is quite weird, and I'm going to talk
it's
about it later.
yes. Like I'm immediately gonna text my friends and be
Not believe
like
what
I one
just
time had
happened.
someone put lube everywhere, and I was like, oh my goodness,
Love to
hi
say hi to
girl.
you. Look at
The
you.
prettiest girl at the party is here. Hi, Stevie. Hi, Stevorella. Oh, she looks as gorgeous as ever.
Yeah, she
Sh-
knows it too.
She's such
Beauty
a teeny
queen.
tiny little queen.
Yeah, she's so little. You want to say hi? You don't even know who's there.
Hi, Miss Girl. Hello, gorgeous. My favorite photo of her is her in that pink dress.
It makes me so sad that she hates clothes because she's just so cute. And I just want to put her in little outfits.
I just like
But
force them onto my cats, and then I just
oh,
leave them on them for a couple hours.
that's what I have to do because we got Binks. Where is it? Because he's too big. The vet wants him to lose weight. So we got him a little skull and crossbone harness
Mm-hmm.
to take him on walks. And it fits. It's a dog harness because he's too big. He's too big for cat ones. Um, he hates it, and he hid under the bed for like hours.
You literally just have to like leave it on them for days.
Oh, I might have to do that
Yeah.
just to. I need him
And
to.
like
He's
lots of
too big.
treats. Just lots of
Oh yeah,
treats.
yeah.
Because that's Toulouse when he was a kitten. I just started like dressing him up. And
Hmm.
Toulouse was always good because I'd put it on, then we'd take a bunch of photos, and I'd be like, okay, I'll take it off now.
Right.
Pastrami does not love it.
He
And
gets
like
shy.
he does, but part of it too was like with Toulouse, I was like, he's gonna be a leash cat. So I
Right.
had to like get him desensitized basically to the
Right.
harness.
Right.
And I never did it with pastrami. So we did
Ah,
a road trip, and that was his first time wearing a harness for like a long period of time. And it worked out, thank God, great. But like he was pissed.
big boy.
That's Binks.
Yeah, he's big. First in
Ugh.
show.
Hi, handsome guy. It's
He
just a baby.
is. He's not even two. He's just a little boy.
Well,
Mhm.
thank you for being on the show.
Of course, this has been fun. Thank you for having me.
We'll have to have you on again. Well, you can
I'm
find
a very
us
private
at
gal these days.
you can find the podcast at Long D Friends Pod on Instagram. You can email us longdfriendspod@gmail.com. And you can find me on TikTok while it lasts at Lived, Laughed, Loathed, where I post all of the promos for these lovely little episodes and sometimes my silly little life. And I will not be sharing any other social medias here right now.
Love
So
it.
because church and state.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well, bye.
I love ya. See you
Love ya.
later.